Oh no!
Plug it, plug it, plug it!
Well, this is part 2 of the 3-wheeler ATC 110 build. Kind of picking off right where we left off. And I'm going to be rebuilding this carburetor. And then doing a few other things like the brake shoes, replacing the brake lever on the handle. Just a few things here and there. But we're going to get this thing solid and get it to be the best thing it can be for what it is. Got the new rebuild kit right here. Comes with a few jets. We're gonna have to test that out. We definitely have to lean it out. It was running very rich, but just gonna get right in. So even though we did like clean and did a vinegar bath with this gas tank to restore it, there was still a little bit of rust that was like inside the like walls of it, inside the corners. And as soon as we put good gas in it, it really broke it up and sent it right into the carburetor. I cleaned this out a little bit. I'm going to spray it out some more. Took the drain out. But yeah, definitely need that. Our main O-ring here, that's done with. Got all the silicone that we used to seal up the broken one. Got that mostly off. But this carb, it's definitely had some stuff put through it. I have the carburetor rebuilt and reconnected to the fuel line. It's connected to the gas. Gonna put that back on the bike, put a fresh needle in the slide, button that all up, and then
We got a new exhaust. Stainless steel here.
just off of Amazon.
Yup.
We'll open that up, and then
New bars to replace our bent ones.
happen to have a salvage set, so
Yup.
gonna use them.
Brake shoes, brand new brake pads for the rear, and a new line for the hand brake, so we'll have hand brake again. So we're gonna get all this set up, and then we'll be able to hopefully take it out for a rip and hopefully make full power. And oh, we also need to do the valves and the points.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not too bad.
We'll do those two as well, and then we'll take it out for a rip. So just a few things, but it
We're
still runs.
finally
and
getting
it just
some
doesn't make
rain.
full power.
We won't be kicking up as much dust. We're finally getting rain.
Yeah, it's raining currently.
Just unboxed the new pipe and it is mint.
Yeah, it looks incredible. Fully TIG welded. It's thicker piping, stainless so it won't rust. Much better flanges, and a much better looking and sounding and more free-flowing muffler as well. So, look how nice this thing looks. Nice flange, stainless flange on there. Hopefully this thing bolts right up and we don't have to modify it at all, but we may have to cut and re-weld it.
It's definitely wider.
Yeah, it should flow better. We should make a little more power with this. And then we're getting the carb running better, so that should be better too. And it should sound way better with this thing than it does. It sounds like there's something stuck in the exhaust when it runs. It sounds like it's way more muffled than it should be. Like something's clogging it and it can't breathe. I got the thing all jacked up here so I could pull the exhaust out here because I had to take the skid plate off, and then there's a bolt that ran right here through this hole all the way through the center of this pipe to the other side. This thing is shot. Look how rusty this thing is. It's broken there. It's bad. So it's a good thing we got a nice stainless one over there. We're going to mock up and make that guy fit. Russell is going to attempt to do our brakes here. So he's going to pull this cover off and see how far that gets us. And we don't know what else we have to do. We might have to go farther, but hopefully that will give us access to our brake shoes and we can replace our shoes with the new ones we have. We decided we're not going to do this exhaust quite yet because we're getting a 125cc manual engine for this thing. So next week, we're going to save this exhaust for that. And then when we get that engine in here, we'll put this exhaust on that engine. For this guy, we're just going to cut out the muffler section of this and weld in a pipe in its replacement. And it'll be perfect. So that's what we're going to do for now. And then so it'll flow better, sound a little better, and hopefully make full power then.
It's a little rusty, but it'll do for right now.
Exactly.
We decided to put the 125 on it because it's kind of coming with a little secret project that we're picking up next.
Yep, and we're not going to be using that engine on that build, so we're gonna
It'll be perfect.
put it in this. 'Cause it's not a Chinese 125. It's a Honda 125. So it'll match pretty nicely. It's gonna look a lot better because it's a much better condition engine.
Yeah.
So then we'll have to redo the frame to make it match.
Quick bit of research. I don't take off this side. That would be a mistake. I do, however, hammer this cover off, I believe, through one of these holes. But this is just the cover and it does come off. Might be able to pry it off too. Back working on the rear again. Just had to take a break. But took the cover off. That took some work. Took the axle nuts off. Put them all down there. And then just had to loosen this as much as I could. And then there's like a seal on the inside, which is still good by the feels of it at least. And then put a rag around this so I don't mess up my threads. And now we're taking off our old shoes.
I pulled the bars off, so I'm gonna start installing our straight ones. And I got our brake cable on here, so now we have a handbrake running down nicely. All new hardware's here. It works amazing.
Just have to button up the dust seal.
Yep, got the new rear pads in. Russell's putting it back together, getting our cover on, so it's waterproof, and then she'll be ready. Ready to test. I got the exhaust on. It's just a short stubby exhaust with no muffler now, it's got a tiny muffler with a baffle, but like there's no muffler packing or anything, it's just a pipe. So it should be louder and flow a lot better, so hopefully it'll rev out better now. And then we still have to do the valves and the points, but I believe the points are right here.
They are.
Behind this cover right here. So we'll do those, and then the valves are under these caps here, and the one under here. So we'll take those off and get it in top dead center and adjust those.
Finally got the rear all sealed up. That's all buttoned up. The gasket's on properly. Axle nuts, they're tightened up as tight as humanly possible. 1 5/8. Got our bars on now. Had to sand these just a bit to fit these.
Yeah, sorry the clamps are tightened down enough, but it all works good.
Have the lever attached.
Yep, we got rear brakes now with
Putting on
the hand.
kill and headlight switch.
Yep.
And we'll be ready to reinstall our gas tank and plastic soon.
Yeah.
Give it a quick little startup maybe. Engine's in top dead center, and now we're getting into our valve clearances. On these, they are 3/1000th of an inch.
Yep. For intake and exhaust. Slight drag.
It's pretty neat though. On these engines, right behind it, Brandon's hand there, on the pull start down there, there's a little window where you can see your top dead center more.
See, it's got a little bit of play now. Before, they were completely tight, very tight. I had to turn these adjusters so far out in order to get any kind of play. It was ridiculous. There we go, 3,000 slides right in. Beautiful. Now I do the exhaust. Exhaust is really bad too.
Yeah. If you heard this engine in the last video, you could hear the valves. They were pretty loud. They were ticking a lot.
We got it back together. I took this off and looked underneath, but it doesn't look like the point system is in there, unless it's like behind the CDI thing or something. I don't know. Ours looks different than all the ones we've seen, so maybe ours is newer. I don't know. It seems to be working though. We have good spark, so we're just gonna roll with it for now and see if it runs better like now after we did all these things. And if it doesn't, then maybe we'll look into it more and see if we got to do something behind that cover or something. But for now, we got the gas tank on, carburetors on, rebuilt, gas tank's cleaned out again. We're gonna put the plastics back on and see if it fires up. Brakes are redone. It's ready.
Just need to bring them in a bit. Yeah,
lining up. It's hard with the rack on. Without the rack on, it's easy because you can see.
What about this side?
Yeah, it's on.
No.
Now you knocked it off. There you go. Yep. All right. Let's see if it fires up. Crank it up, Russell.
She needs gas.
Oh, yeah. Fueling it up.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Hopefully it runs better. Go ahead. Let's see if it fires up. See how it sounds. The new exhaust. It's not clogged. Adjusted valves.
Oh.
Way more compression.
Pulls a lot different.
Why you had it in way too far?
I guess so. Either into the garage or into the...
Yeah, thank goodness this has neutral. Else this thing would have been whoosh, out through the yard or into something.
We were having the issue with the carburetor where it was just like running away again on us, like when we first started it up. But now it seems to idle okay, run okay. It's weird. For the next few weeks, we were playing around trying to get it to run better with this carburetor, and it simply wouldn't. It kept running away, it kept bogging, and it lacked a lot of power. So after this clip, we didn't film much of it because it just wasn't good. And after it picked up, we decided to just go ahead and swap into 125. So here's this part. So to fix the lack of power this thing has been having, we've kind of decided to swap our 125 engine off our Extreme Typhoon. This engine is a little bit better than this, arguably, because it's a 3-speed with losing a gear, but you're gaining reverse.
Yep.
And this also has electric start along with an oil cooler.
Yes. So this thing should run a lot better. It has a much better running carburetor on it. It's nowhere near as old as that carburetor is. And we're going to plan to upgrade this because it could use a bigger carburetor for a little bit more power. We're giving it a more free-flowing aftermarket exhaust so it sounds good and will flow better. So we'll match it up with the carburetor as well, and then it should be an all-around solid build. Yeah. So we're going to get cracking. We got to pull this engine out of here so we can start installing that one. So we got to start removing the plastics, gas tank, seat, wiring, and then go from there.
Yeah. Time to reroll. Taking off the gas tank now.
Yep. It's a little bit sketchy because of the petcock switch is on the carburetor,
Yeah.
not on the tank, so you can't turn the fuel off.
Once it's like removed from the carburetor.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to act fast. Try to keep spillage to a minimum.
Luckily we have 4 hands. Trying to catch some. Ideally all of it.
I don't think there's too much wiring on this thing that's gonna do.
No.
Less than the quad, because the quad has electric start.
It's all on this side.
Yeah. So it should be faster to remove this engine. I'm just so glad this has the OEM tag. The last one we had did not, and it was terrible. I don't even know what tank that was from. It was a Honda tank. It just wasn't one from one of these. I don't know what it was from, but not an ATC. Maybe a CT70 or something. I don't know. All right, ready? Give me a this first. Now for me. Oh boy, they're tight. Wow, they're really tight. Holy smokes. Yeah, I guess we're cutting them. All right, ready? We cut the top one first. Bleeding. Bottom one. All right. Cool. Oh, dude, spraying me! It's bad.
I still can't get it off either.
Bro!
Cut deeper. Oh no!
Plug it, plug it, plug it!
I can't!
I can't! Oh, this is not going as planned at all. Situation is kind of under control. We got a drain pan now. There's just a ton of fuel in that tank.
Are we just going in the drain pan?
I mean, if we can get it into the gas can, that'd be better. Alright, it's in. Alright, let me get both. I got it.
Stay away from that heater.
Stay away from that heater.
You're not staying away from the heater.
Dude, it is away. Drain now. We're good. We survived. It might smell like gas in here now.
Not yet. Progress report. Headlight is off. Gas tank's off. She's draining successfully now. Lost a retaining clip.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that went.
But other than that, the disassembly is going pretty smooth. Carburetor's off, and now the foot pegs are coming off. I'm gonna start on the chain.
Yeah, take the chain off next. And then all that's left, I think, is the engine mounts.
Pretty sure.
We still have to pull wiring out of the frame, but you can't do that with the engine in, so you gotta pull the engine first.
Yeah. I'm gonna spray down the engine bolts, however, just so they can soak up any lube now. It's pretty easier.
Yeah, they've probably never been out.
Yeah.
Foot pegs are out. There's some heavy foot pegs. Wait till you feel the weight of these things. Feel this.
Well, are we taking the engine out or the whole front tab?
Whole front tab. That engine doesn't have a front tab.
Will it get it?
No. No, it will not. Different valve cover design. Cracking the engine bolts loose. I'm just gonna remove this front one completely right away because it's not really holding it in that much. It's just extra reinforcement. The back two main ones are the main ones that hold it in. We can probably use these tabs up here, these bolt holes, for the oil cooler tabs. Make tabs that come off here for the oil cooler and the oil pump. You know?
Possibly. This chain guard isn't really easy to remove with the wheel on. However, it is off. So at least unbolted. Now, it is off and possibly off enough for me to get the chain out.
Wow, that's a tight bolt. Russell's currently looking for the master link, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have one because it's a really old chain. I think it's original. And back in the 80s and 70s, a lot of times they wouldn't use master links from chains back then. They would just splice them straight together. So we're probably just gonna end up cutting this chain right off because it needs a new one anyways. All right, the engine's ready to come out. I'm gonna hold it up while Russell pulls the bolts out. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna run that. You got the bottom side of the engine over there, supported. What's wrong? Oh, the guard's in the way. Beautiful. Go straight down. Straight out your side. Ooh. I don't want to push my fingers. Dang, it's out. Alright.
She is dirty.
Yeah, it is. Now how do you get the wiring out of here?
I don't know. So this is the original intake for the 110. It doesn't quite have the same bolt flange setup for the intake on the 125. We did tap that so we could fit the oil cooler barb on there, like where it draws from. Brandon, fortunately, welded this up out of aluminum today at his shop, and we're gonna give this a go. It's the old flange, but now it's gonna be able to run in the 3-wheeler. It didn't quite fit in the tube frame when it was straight overhead the engine. This is the intake gasket for the 125, and as you can see from that ring there, it needed a bit of porting, so I went around with the razor blade and I scored it. I'm gonna cut that out fully, and then I'm gonna transfer that onto this, because both the engine side and the carb side, they need a bit of porting, and by a bit I mean a lot. But after that, it'll flow nice and good, and hopefully work just as well, if not better than this. Doesn't look the prettiest, but what do you expect? It's TIG welded aluminum. Like, this is a very difficult piece to make. This is cast. This is just regular aluminum tubing. So I just have it in the vise and going at it with the drill. This is about where I'm at now. It's getting there, but not quite finished. I have to take a lot more out of the top side, and then I'm just gonna try and bevel it all so it can flow nicely into the out of the engine. I am just about finished with this one. It's really close. There's just a lot of material on this side, and it's tricky to get to. But this alone is way better than where it was. So after I finish this up, I'm gonna start on the other side. So just a final progress report of the night. This is fully ported, nice and flowy now. Engine's almost ready to be mounted. We were working on getting all our wiring in from the 125 engine. Still working out ignition. This bracket's gonna get modified, cutting here just so we can mount it up underneath the handlebars and have it come up here. Everything's all tucked in nicely.
Start to mount things up to where we want them.
Yes.
And most of the wiring is all tucked into the back of the frame here. We're gonna put our battery down in here as well. And
will require a little bit of removing, but
yeah, finessing to get it in there. But
a little bit of finger pinching, but it's getting in there.
Yeah, we got our terminals right here. And then we got, this is the starter power cable. This is the ground for our engine. engine plugs to plug our engine in for the electric start and the charging system. And then the only other thing we have to do is we have to find our coil wire. It's somewhere in the harness, up in here. So we're gonna have to probably unplug all this stuff, pull the harness through as far as we can, find it, and then extend it so we can mount a coil like over here or up here or something, because we gotta ground it to the frame. So we'll have to make sure it's got a good ground, and it only has one wire going to it. So we only have to find one and extend one, which is nice, but we'll have to figure out where it is.
So we're back working on the three-wheeler today.
Yeah.
It's Sunday. Good progress has been made. Brandon has extended our coil wires.
Yeah, so now we can mount our coil. Pull this off. Right on these two bolts right here, and here's our ground for the coil and our positive for the coil. So those will be tucked up out of the way, and the coil will be hidden by the gas tank and everything, and be right next to the engine where it needs to be.
That was on for a little bit of spinning. Have our key ignition on.
Yeah, we got our key in. So we've got our ignition on. It's mounted up to the bars. It clears the gas tank when you turn, which is perfect. It just barely clears, actually. It's super tight tolerances, but it is perfect. So there it is. It just clears the gas tank.
We got other stuff down there right now that needs to be
Refined.
Yeah, it needs to be fully seated.
Yeah. But yeah, tucking the wiring up the best we can and everything. So, making progress.
I myself am cutting out and drilling these mounting tabs for the coil itself. I need to go a little bit bigger up top, and then I can see where I can drill the next hole for the bottom and cut to length. Our battery is in. We tried to mount the engine already. It didn't line up. We thought the engine holes would be the same, but they weren't. We thought all engines this style had the same bolt pattern, but apparently not. That's like something else. Right now we're working on tabs for the top and bottom here. It's gonna be spaced out on the inside, and then we may or may not work out something for the front. This front engine doesn't have one to begin with.
Yeah, we might just try to add one for strength.
But
That's the only thing that holds the foot pegs on it and your whole weight.
our wiring is all finished.
Yep.
It all works.
Yep.
Works up here. Everything needs to just be reconnected to the engine. We just don't have it all in right now because hanging.
Yeah, we gotta make those tabs.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Finishing replugging in the wiring harness. I'm gonna connect the starter next. But our top engine mount is created.
Yep.
Now we're gonna be working on the lower one. And then checking alignment with chain, see if that works.
I tried to bolt the intake on, but from where we're trying to put the engine, where we have it lifted up, it's gonna hit like that, and the engine's still not quite where we want it. So I'm gonna have to cut this and re-weld it slightly different, move it this way a little more still. So I'm gonna bring it to my work tomorrow to do that.
We need to fix that right tire there. It leaks out air, but then we need to mount our foot pegs, oil cooler, oil pump, and our chain, and the rear engine mount.
And we can take this thing for a test.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be way better. So I got the oil cooler bracket on and mounted up. And we got new lines run to it. So it's got nice fresh lines, no leaking of any pressure or oil. And Russell's working on the oil pump bracket. We're gonna mount that right to here and then run the lines for that. I still have to do some more work to our intake because it doesn't quite fit still. We got our rear engine mounts in. Everything's mounted up solid. We're gonna make one more brace for the engine from this main bolt hole right here, and we're gonna run it up to this guy right here. So it's gonna go from there, down to there, out of a nice piece of stainless or something. And that will be like our last like truss to help keep the engine hoisted up and mounted properly. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install the foot pegs so that way we can see what this thing looks like.
The foot pegs are on. They didn't quite match up as well as the engine bolts, so Those had to be slotted. But they're on now. They're sturdy, not going anywhere.
Yep.
Can't really show it too well. But yeah, they're solid. Oil cooler is mounted, as well as our oil pump. They're on here, and they have new hoses, minus our breather, but that doesn't matter much. Other than that, this build's coming along. We have some good progress made.
Can you turn the front engine sprocket tight? I want to see if this lines up. It looks like it's really close.
We're working on aligning our chain right now. This sprocket, it has bushings in it, and the way
perfect, actually,
way it
right
was
there.
set up,
That might be perfect.
it was too far
In.
Yes.
We need it out more, so
We just-
putting it apart.
And we can't remove this. Behind it, there was a plate that holds the bushings in, and we couldn't remove that because it's riveted in, as you can see. But we just flipped it over, and it happened to be the right alignment, so we're gonna run with it.
Yep.
Our carburetor's on. The bracket is finished being welded and cut finally. Fits nicely. Throttle cable's on.
Yep.
Temporarily, we're running this pod filter here. Eventually, we're gonna run things back into the air box, but I wanna find the actual OEM air intake tube that leads to the air box. Didn't come with it when I bought it. Other than that,
We're almost ready for the test ride.
yeah, it's
We gotta
come
do the
together.
exhaust still, and then we can see if the engine will fire up. I'm working on the gas tank right now, getting the fuel lines on it. I got the rear end dialed in. Chain is on, tension perfectly aligned. So now we're gonna throw on our covers, and we can throw a wheel back on, and we can start doing the gas tank.
Carburetor has a fuel line on it, finally, on-off switch. Gas tank's on, plastics are back on. Working on our exhaust, and that's kind of the last step on this before we can test it.
Slowly working the exhaust down underneath the foot pegs and the foot brake, and we gotta get it back up to the muffler.
Technically, it's all together. The exhaust is mounted, welded, needs a little bit of cleaning up, but it's together. Now we kind of have to wait till morning, but we'll be starting this tomorrow, getting it to be a runner, and hopefully it'll be great.
Yeah, we gotta clean the carburetor, and then we got that bump started because we killed the battery now.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
but
and we don't have a way to charge it.
tomorrow. We decided to meddle with it a little bit more yet. No spark. So we're not sure.
One of our electronics is unplugged,
Or
their CDI box or something.
if the
Plugged in all the way or something.
plug is fouled.
Yeah.
Not
Well, we can check that with a
quite sure.
screwdriver, but
It's getting odder by the second. The plug is fine. We have spark again. For some reason, when we hooked up the tail light with a LED bulb and new connection, it lost spark.
yeah. Weird. Yeah.
I'm gonna try a little experiment.
Yep.
Putting it first gear, and now we're gonna. It's going. Oh. I couldn't get any movement.
And then we're gonna go up to the second gear. All right. Wait, don't go. Go. Yes. Let's go. We got it. Let's freaking go. Yes. Keep it alive. Keep it alive. No, the choke's on, that's why. We have to do it again, but with the choke off. Ready? Faster, faster, faster! Yeah! We gotta do a little carb tuning. It's not quite ready for drifting. How was it?
Well, it's got power, a lot more than it did.
That's good.
Needs some tweaking, needs slightly better fuel delivery maybe.
Yeah.
Car needs cleaning.
Yeah.
It's alive, it runs, it
Yep.
ripped.
It sounds good too.
And
We definitely
eventually-
gotta up the jets, I think, a little bit because of the exhaust now. It's way more free flowing than it was before.
It is getting around side carb eventually.
Yeah.
But
I have the choke on currently because it hasn't even started.
yeah.
All right, ready?
So we cleaned up the exhaust a bit, and now we're ready to give it another test. We've also worked the fuel line. We've turned it from a tube back to just a single line, and now it should flow a lot better.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
And
go
clean the car.
that too. It was clogged.
Yep.
So now we're going
Ready?
for another test. Here we go. Go. Well, here's the test of our engine mounts right here.
Thing's sweet. Bro's over here doing donuts on the blacktop with this thing right now. Dude, that thing's so cool. No! Yeah! Yeah! Oh, he almost got it. We're gonna see if the top speed's any better now that we got the new engine on. Should be. Here he comes. It's still running terrible, but it is what it is. We're gonna be getting a new carburetor for this thing, a bigger one so it can flow better, because that one's tiny. It can make more power than this, and one that's not like a, I don't even know what they're called. They have like a flap door in them though. We don't like those kind of carburetors. See, you can hear it breaking up. And it died. Sounds horrible with the choke on, I think.
Yeah, we're still messing with it, but we're just gonna give Brandon a try here. Let him swing it in the lot, see how he likes it. Yeah. You ready? You can do it in first.
Go ahead.
Jay! Turn it off! He threw the chain.
I'm wondering what happened. How?
I don't know. Too much awesomeness.
I guess. Did it change stretch already? Or did our axle shift maybe? Did we not get our bolts tight enough or something?
Think the engine mounts moved any?
Maybe? I don't know. Chain's back on.
It's really.
Wow, look how loose our chain is.
It's so loose.
Well, we should probably go tighten that. You know?
Yeah. Well, give her a quick bump. It's a far walk. Oh.
He wasn't on.
Dang.
Yeah, we were engine on big shit.
You ready? Look. Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
We gotta tighten our engine mounts more.
So maybe the axle's fine.
Well, our axle probably needs some tension too.
Oh.
But this is our excuse to pull the engine out and charge the battery, so.
I guess.
Since we have to do it anyway. Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah, that pretty much does it for this video. Our three-wheeler has the 125 in it.
Yep.
Needs some tweaking yet, as always.
Yep.
But it rips pretty good.
Yeah, it's fast, it drifts, it's fun. Once we get the new carburetor on it and get all the kinks worked out, it should be dialed and perfect, and then we'll be able to take it to Busco Beach and actually really send it down there at Mini Mayhem this year. So stay tuned for that in the spring. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next
comment,
one.
Subscribe and share with your friends.
Yep. God bless.
Little post note. We figured out why it might have been puffing and air leaking. This is to our oil pump, to our oil cooler, and that goes to that little barb there. And we forgot to hook that up before we ran it. However, it ran pretty solid for what it was.
It had a massive air leak.
It could have ran way better.
Yeah.
And now we know why.
Yeah.
But stay tuned for the next video this is in.
Indeed.